United Methodist Church, Mason City, Iowa again for our Wednesday favorite hymn time. We're so glad you could join us. If you're watching live, that's great. If you're watching later in the week, that's wonderful too. Today we're focusing on the hymn, Faith of Our Fathers. It is a favorite of Leslie Burdick. Leslie and Bill have been such important members of this church for the last several years. Leslie was our office manager. Bill has served in about every capacity you could think of as far as committee work and really being a positive person, influencing others to bring the glory of God to everyone. So I'd like to dedicate this song to them, particularly since, unfortunately, they will only be in our midst for a short time more. They're in the process of relocating to Minneapolis to be near their daughter, and we wish them all the best in that move. But until then, we're going to enjoy them still here. Faith of Our Fathers comes from the early 1800s, and hopefully I can read well today thanks to Walgreens reading glasses. I have my eye appointment tomorrow. I may get a new prescription for glasses that will enable me to see more than only see one of you at a time instead of two of you, because I'm experiencing a lot of double vision. My right eye is getting better. It's not quite where my left eye is, but it's getting better. This famous hymn of faith, with its references to those who suffered in dungeons, in chains, by fire, and by the sword, conjures images of martyrs from the time of the Roman occupation of Jerusalem to the more recent persecution of believers in today's totalitarian countries. When Frederick W. Faber penned the words of this hymn in the mid-1800s, he was specifically referring to those followers of the Roman Catholic faith who were martyred during the reign of Henry VIII, when he was in the process of establishing the Anglican Church in England. In fact, one of the original verses, now omitted from the hymn, reads as follows: "Faith of our fathers, Mary's prayers shall win our country back to thee, and through the truth that comes from God, England shall then indeed be free." It is rather ironic that such words as these should come from a man like Faber at all, given his background. Frederick Faber was the son of an English clergyman who followed the teachings of Calvin with strict devotion. Raised in this environment, Faber became an early and enthusiastic proponent of the Anglican Church. He graduated from Oxford University in 1843 and shortly thereafter became an Anglican minister at Elton, England. At the time, however, the Tractarian movement was sweeping the Church of England. Leaders of this movement held the view that deeper religious growth could only come through a return to formal worship ceremonies and liturgies of the past. Faber joined this movement and so aligned himself with its views that he left the Anglican Church after only 3 years of ministry and immediately joined with the Roman Catholic faith, taking the new name of Father Wilfrid. It was shortly after this that Faber became concerned with the lack of congregational singing in the Roman Catholic Church. To supply this need, Father Wilfrid began composing hymns to chronicle and honor the history of the Catholic Church, especially its struggles and triumphs through the years of persecution. To that end, he composed the stirring verses of Faith of Our Fathers. Although originally written for a specific denomination, this hymn has become a favorite of Catholics and Protestants alike. Its verses speak of triumph over persecution and the universal ideals of liberty and freedom, which appeal to men and women of all generations. Although his life was short, he died at the age of 49, Frederick Faber contributed over 150 hymns to the life of the church and was recognized for this achievement by the Pope, who granted him a Doctor of Divinity degree. 3 verses. faith of our fathers, living still, in spite of dungeon, fire, and sword. Oh, how our hearts beat high with joy whene'er we hear that glorious word. Faith of our fathers, holy faith, we will be true to thee till death. Faith of our fathers, we will strive to win all the nations unto thee, and through the truth that comes from God, mankind shall then be truly free. Faith of our fathers, holy faith, we will be true to thee till death. Faith of our fathers, we will love both friend and foe in all our strife, and preach thee too as love knows how, by kindly words and virtuous life. Faith of our fathers, holy faith, we will be true to thee till death. I'd like to play a John Innes arrangement of the 3 verses of Faith of Our Fathers.